Shalom, welcome to Tactically Torah. I am Heath Hayes. I apologize for the phone setup. Blah, blah, blah. It is what it is. I'm driving. Anyways, woke up early this morning, like I've been doing. Get up early, eat my overnight oats, slam a pre-workout, and go to the gym. And I've been working out pretty consistently. Today I got to pair up with Bug Out Bob, a true brother, really good friend. And man, we just flat killed it. We killed it. We killed our chest. I think I may have pushed him a little too hard. I don't know. But it's nice to have people around you, you know, to push and be pushed. You know, it kind of gets you out of your own headspace. You think you can't do anymore, and then you do, right? So that's really cool. It's a really cool aspect of life, you know, whenever you have people around you who can get more out of it, you know. But anyways, we did all that, killed the workout. My arms are tired, and which is funny because we did chest. We did a quick little arm burnout after the chest workout to really kind of get that done. But yeah, we went hard. And gosh, you know, I'm thinking about a lot of different things right now. One of them being the economic turmoil that we've been in. But also have kind of the thought process, a mindset to think that, man, we haven't seen nothing yet. So with that thought, what are you doing about it? You know, I mean, I hope you have food squared away. I hope you have people that you can rely on. But if you don't, and that's on you. That's your problem, and that's your fault. You've been weak. And to that thought, you know, I've spoke about it before. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create bad times. And then bad times create strong men. So we're in some bad times, to say the least. And we're in for it now. The Federal Reserve, they're having a meeting today based on a new bill to regulate cryptocurrency and such. There's kind of a lot more to it, but you know, you guys can just as easily access the Federal Reserve website and read all of their literature and their bills that they introduce and such. All of that's happening. And you're not going to get away from it. You can't change it. So now we're to the point, either you get strong or die. You know, maybe it's not a physical, literal death, but you will suffer the consequences of the wrath of what you have done. You will suffer the consequences or the wrath of your inaction. And it's not going to look pretty. Because what I fear is that, you know, people essentially, you know, the way the economy is going, You've got all the billionaires and millionaires in the world flowing their money into the US dollar, which is bad for the middle class because it's even further driving interest rates up. And with all of that said, and the influx of technology, people are going to begin to lose their jobs. Their jobs are being leveraged to technology. Whether it be the technology takes their place, or there's a lack of technology and they lose out altogether because they can no longer do their job. That stuff is happening. Like I said, economic turmoil. Can you get away from it? No, you can't. All you can do is hope that you've done everything you possibly can to shield yourself from it. And that's easier said than done. But we're on the cusp of a few things. I mean, I'm pretty sure. So it's October 3rd, right? Anytime between now and next month, the UK, excuse me, I got the hiccups from protein. Anyways, Europe, they will be adopting or transitioning to the new ISO 20022 standards for the banking communication system. This is happening. You can't get away from it. So with that said, there are, if you go to the World Economic Forum and look at what exactly the ISO 20022 communication standards are, it's basically a setup to, not a setup, but a setup within the context of this is how this system is set up, not to set the people up, but rather it is essentially what they want to utilize to establish what is called liquidity on demand, or on the Bank of England website, I believe is what it is, Bank of London maybe. They call it RTGS within the literature. You have to search for it. But if you go on their website, you search for RTGS, which stands for Real-Time Gross Settlement. That means liquidity on demand. Because if you think about it, via the SWIFT system, and a lot of people are really ignorant to how money flows throughout the world. There is a messaging system that is called SWIFT. So via that messaging system, if the US wants to send Germany, or say the US sends Israel $20 billion for whatever reason, right? Well, there's a series of messages that must be sent out into a series of banks throughout the world where money has to be staged, meaning each bank has to hold a certain amount of liquidity within the bank itself in order to allow these transactions to go from one location to another, because they have to ensure that the money is there, right? And not to mention there's a certain level of volatility to that. You know, we're talking about valuation and devaluation. So at any given moment, you know, if we release that $20 billion and then you know, however much it is, because of the devaluation and because of all the fees and transactions that have to be taken place, because this one transaction is going from the US to Israel and it must go or traverse through 5 different banks to get there. Oh, and by the way, it takes a month and a half to do. So because of that, they're looking at what's called RTGS, real-time gross settlement. So when that $20 billion is sent via the SWIFT system, maybe they're losing 5 to 10% of the value. That's a lot of money. I mean, maybe it's not even that. Maybe it's 0.5% or 2%, right? So by the time the money gets all the way to Israel, it's not 20 billion, it's 19 billion 500 million. That's $500 million lost like that via the banking system. And they know it's an issue. It's been an issue. It's an archaic system. So everything is being leveraged to technology, even the banking system, via what is called cryptocurrency. So when you take a look at all of these new international standards that are being set up via the World Economic Forum, it's quite legitimate. There's companies such as Ripple, it's called XRP is their cryptocurrency, and that is the only cryptocurrency in the world that specializes in cross-border payments. That's what they were meant to do. So whenever they start flipping the switch, in which, by the way, Ripple has been establishing contracts with banks worldwide for this very thing. They have the contracts in place, everything set up and ready to go. So it's quite interesting, to look at and watch. So essentially, when there's regulatory clarity and the switches start to flip, which I would assume would be relatively soon, being the fact that, again, Europe as a whole is about to adopt the new international standards, and XRP will be utilized via the SWIFT system as a hybrid system. And as soon as they can utilize RippleNet and XRP for liquidity on demand, all of that money that is pre-staged, all of that money throughout the world, say it's just US dollars, and it doesn't even have to be fully US dollars, because say it's the Iraqi dinar and it has to be converted from USD to the dinar, right? Regardless of what it is, it doesn't really matter. The fact remains, the currency has to be sent. So when XRP does this, and they've already done testing and it's proven that they can easily send hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars at any given time, and prove and show that the money's there within seconds. It doesn't take a month and a half. It takes seconds. And oh, by the way, you're not losing an S-ton of money. You're only losing a fraction of a penny, or at maximum 10 cents for a transaction of $20 billion, right? So it's quite incredible from a banking system standpoint. It's very efficient. But here's the problem. When all of that liquidity, all of that money that is tied up via the banking system, the banks no longer have to hold on to it, meaning it's free to flow wherever they need it to go. And naturally, that's trillions of dollars that will flow into the world economy, causing essentially the freaking largest amount of inflation this world has ever seen. Because that's basic economics. When you have an influx of currency, when there's a massive amount of currency sent into a system, products now are worth more, meaning you have to pay more because there's more currency available to purchase it, driving the price up because it's got to equalize, right? Get strong. Figure something out. If you're an individual who invests in crypto, get on the World Economic Forum website and look at the ISO 20022. Heck, just freaking Google ISO 2000022. Do your research on that list of cryptocurrencies. It's legit, it's real, it's happening, and you can't change it. It's happening before our eyes, and it is going to F this world up. The rich are going to get richer, the poor are going to get poorer, and like they've been saying, you're going to own nothing and you'll be happy. Sobering to say the least, but if you are one who invests, consider investing in those. The reason I say that is because this is like, the early 2000s. XRP and Ripple, if you are a accredited investor and you're looking for a pre-IPO, look into Ripple Labs. Holy crap. We're talking about, like, this is Amazon. Whoever invested in Google and Amazon way back in the day, like 20 years ago, like, they freaking made bank. That's generational wealth. This will dwarf that. So if you're putting any amount of money away, if you're trying to save yourself, save for your family, I recommend put money into those. And I'm not a financial advisor by any means. I just research. I just pay attention. And quite frankly, I'm tired of, I'm tired of the thought of my... Guys, I'll go ahead and cut it. Shalom. Bless you.